parties here. Hold on.
Oh, live party?
On Facebook.
Hell yeah, do a live party. Party it up, man. One man. Should be live.
Oh yeah.
There's
Maybe Tommy over. I only brought 12 back, so he's in that stock.
Well, look at I got three people in the stream.
Nah. You need a bear? That's Sam. What's the Sam?
What up? Yo.
What is Sam?
I guess it's working.
Hold on, I'm gonna try this.
Oh, I got the speaker on.
They were making drinks of some brand.
How do I look down at Rich? Oh, no, my hair is. I had a fight with a lawnmower. Don't look at my hair.
Drinking it and going right back to the
I'm just trying to figure this fucking watch party thing out.
Look at there's Shannon Sullivan in the chat room.
Little Richie G!
Hey,
There
what
he
are you
is.
doing?
Hey,
How you doing?
do you want me to go get my 8-ball?
You're not buying your shit.
Oh, yeah, you should.
Okay, I'll be right back. I'll
All
be
right.
right back.
This bar. Okay.
Richie.
I had a bad
What's up, GG?
Hello. Live from the gutter. What's up, everybody? Glad to see you guys all here. It's Saturday, 5:15.
You're cutting out because of the background noise. What?
Oh, I'm cutting out. Can you hear me now?
Oh, we're live?
Yeah, we're live. We went live early.
It says a minute and 49 seconds.
Should be live.
You sure?
Yeah.
This is weird. It's like I'm running the show. I can share my screen and everything again.
I know. Can you share? You can share links and stuff, right?
I think so.
I think you can.
I didn't know that the guest had that option.
You know what's funny is I told everybody 7:30, so probably nobody here. Who knows?
Well,
Nobody can
they'll
see.
be here.
Hey, boys.
What do you say, Mr.
Check
David?
this out, man. You're going to a Buzz Lightyear Magic 8-ball.
Wow.
Oh, my God. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's got the Space Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's way cool.
Very cool.
Totally.
Man, I'm excited to see you guys. I don't have an 8-ball. I might have to go to Target and go buy one, huh?
This is an original. This one is, I believe, 32 years old, this one.
Well,
It may be older than that.
is Richie's 8-ball still working properly? All clear, man.
I know.
All clear.
Zero.
It has to be true, Rich. I bought this because of you, man.
It works. Does Dave Scott have a legitimate 8-ball in his hand? Here it comes. You may rely on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, buddy. I
guys
gotta say this on Twitter today. There was a guy on Twitter named Post Disclosure was putting on there about
Oh yeah,
who are the real journalists covering the field. Oh, Rich, the names on there, I was going haywire.
oh no, I must have missed it.
Oh yeah, dude, it was
So
crazy.
who are some of the names? Can you disclose?
Well, your friend and mine.
Okay, well, all right.
And so I put a title on there. I said journalist, not podcaster.
Nice.
Now, Rich can share that link, Dave. Yeah. Rich somehow has the ability because he has a higher upgraded StreamYard. He can share it.
What do you mean?
Well, Dave just mentioned that there was journalists in the UFO field that he was talking about. It was on Twitter, right, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can find it, Rich, and you can share the link. I don't know how to do that. I can't share the screen.
Oh yeah, I can find it in 2 seconds. Yeah.
Hey, Nathan, what's up, Nathan? We got Nathan here.
Nathan, cool. Yeah.
I love when Dave God swears. I get really pumped up.
So the question that was posted an hour ago is what journalists do you think have covered UAP in a responsible and complete fashion? And
shut up.
Yeah, so of course I responded because nobody ever mentions my fucking name in any of this, right? Not that I care or anything like that, but when I see people on these lists that have never worked a day in journalism and all they've done is self-title themselves, it really, really fuels my fire. And I know there's a lot of people in the field who are like sick and tired of me kind of bashing this, but you know what? If we're going to clean up this field and we're going to try and bring credibility to it, I always tell my listeners this, and Richie's heard me say this a number of times as well. If you're going to lie about your credentials, we cannot trust your research. It doesn't matter how good your research is. You could be bang on. But if you're willing to lie about what you are and who you are, you're willing to lie about your research.
Anything. Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
You lie about here's the link. I'll pull it up for you guys.
Okay, pull it up.
Just in case the audience wants to see it.
Absolutely.
See if this works. And here we go.
Okay, add to stream. There we go. Look at that. Wow. Rich, you have control of the ship. Go for it.
That's it. No, here it is. What journalists do you think covered UAP in a responsible and competent fashion? Dave Scott. There's only a few real journalists covering this field with knowledge and professionalism, led by Knapp and Ralph and Leslie Keene and Lieutenant Tim McMillan. All good. Is self-admittedly not a journalist, but a researcher who writes journalistic pieces. And damn good is he good. And damn, is he good. Most self-identify or self-title. Like we know somebody who self-titles themselves or self-titles himself as an investigative journalist, which he is not. And here it says, Dave continued on, as one with the journalism background is dangerous. If you lie about your credentials, your research cannot be trusted, Dave. Dave said it all. I just said everything you just said. I realized.
No, that's cool.
Here you said, yeah, journalists, not podcasters. Yeah, that's good stuff. I'm going to add something in a little bit. But anywho, that's that.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Here's the problem. Okay, you get this person right there, and it's not the public's problem. Rich, can you put that up again? Don't mind. I just want to show something because this is important. Scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, hold on. Where?
To old scratch there. Okay, so scroll up just a little bit more. Right there. He goes to post disclosure, you, as in you're a journalist.
Yeah.
And post disclosure says the right thing. I'm just a YouTuber, but thank you for the vote of confidence. This is where the public in ufology gets screwed up, because what they're doing is they're trusting the person and not trusting the educational or the known background of the person.
Right.
Okay. Because that person, post disclosure world, has resonated with that person, just like people resonate with Rich or people resonate with me. And that's great. That's fine. But when we start putting those titles on people, that's a lot of responsibility to hold. Look, I'm not the best. I know that. I'm not the best journalist. I'm not the best radio guy. Okay. I'm not a researcher. I'm an experiencer. But at least I don't bullshit in order to my audience, in order to make myself better or more important. Rich, you do the exact same thing. You tell people you are a UFO researcher because that's what you are. You are a YouTube channel host because that's what you are. You don't hear Richie G, when he calls out people or whatever, you don't hear him saying, oh, I'm a journalist, or I am a UFO technician, video technician. He's not making up bullshit. right? But we all feel that we need to title ourselves on something in order to try and gain that respect from the community. And it's a very touchy subject with me. And I don't like it. I think it's dangerous for the field. I know Richie feels the same way.
Yeah.
I feel a lot more extreme than you guys. I don't even believe in profiteering from paranormal stuff at all, to be honest with you. You know, I don't ask for anybody's money. I just want to share my stories. And I think that it obfuscates the subject when you start adding all these players to the game, like UFO post-disclosure world. It's kind of annoying. I agree with Dave 100%.
You know, people just don't know. I mean, like, there's one person here named Omega Point in this thread who put another person down who self-titles as a journalist. Show me where. Show me what quality work this person has done, right? Where did you work? As I said to Rich's friend and mine one day on Twitter, I said, show me your credentials of where you work to become an investigative journalist. I said, I can show you right now. And I can show you my diploma from broadcasting school.
So Dave, you went to school where?
British Columbia Institute of Technology.
And you started out going into sports.
Yeah, I started off, I graduated from college in 1998. Got my first gig in radio in October of that year on Vancouver Island. I spent nearly 2 years on Vancouver Island, and came back home because I got real homesick and was working a couple of odd jobs, and then landed a job at a major radio station in Vancouver, where I spent almost the next 7 years covering everything from the Vancouver Canucks to minor league baseball, to the Canadian Football League, to when golf events were happening or the Molson Indy was happening. I covered that. Junior hockey, probably the most disgusting thing I had to cover was soccer. You know, literally anything. If it was sporty, I was there. I mean, it was honestly, for a sports fanatic like myself, it was a dream job. And if the money was better and if I didn't work for such a prick, I probably would still be doing the job.
Now, when did the transition to paranormal talk start taking over for you? And when did you start?
When I left terrestrial radio in 2007, I was done with it. Guys, I didn't know that there was Blog Talk Radio. I didn't know that there was Spreaker or Mixler or any of these brands out there. When I walked away from radio, guys, I didn't even know how to download a podcast up to that point. I literally bought myself an iPod Nano because everybody had them. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just go get one and put some music on there. And I didn't know what the fuck to do. You know, like USB cords and everything like this. I was blind because when I walked away, and I had no idea that there was any of this out there. And then when my own experiences started in 2013, that's when I started kind of paying attention. And then in 2014, a good buddy of mine named Johnny Enoch came over to my house one day and he's like, dude, we got to get you back on the radio. I'm like, dude, you just can't walk into a radio station and say, hey, I want the 9 to midnight slot to do a paranormal radio show. I said, that's not how it works. He's like, no, man, there's this whole online thing. And I'm like, what the hell is this about? So we just figured, fine. So I went on there. I'm thinking, okay, there's probably maybe 5-6 shows out there. Yeah, I didn't think 5,000-6,000. Right. And within a few months, that's when I had Richie G on for the first time, and him and I just really hit it off from there. And I think, you know, we've been pretty damn good friends since. I'm a little pissed off that we've never met each other face to face and we've never shared a beer together. But that's kind of how it worked, man. Like, I knew nothing of this. I knew nothing about online stuff, and it's been a crash course. And there's a lot that I still don't know. There's a lot.
So much you're going to learn. I'm still learning.
Oh, yeah.
After 16 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still debunking my own stuff. which is frustrating, but you never know when that puzzle's going to connect and you figured something out. It's unbelievable field. Anything can happen at any time.
Absolutely.
It seems to be a lot of on-the-job training for sure, because I got a lot of respect for you guys after just trying this out for a couple months. You guys doing this for years, man, I got a lot of respect for you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you. I think my opinion of Rich, and I've told him, and he's going to roll his eyes and he's going to shut the hell up or anything like that.
Oh, no, I want to hear it.
No. My opinion of Rich is he is one. There's a lot of them in this field, and unfortunately, he falls in this category where he is so underrated for his talent, for his knowledge, for his studious way of doing things. It's honestly, and there's so many people like that out there. I mean, Rich is a guy, in my opinion, where like through the summer months, he should be gone 3 out of every 4 weeks out of the year doing conferences and speaking engagements. I mean, the guy is fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant in this field. And I'm sorry?
He does have a lot of talent.
Oh, huge amount of talent. And
Brilliant.
But he works his ass off. And yeah, he comes across as brash, and like he's the type of show where if you can't watch it once, you have to put in a good 2-3 weeks.
Oh my God.
To understand how he does his show. And when you get it, you're hooked. You're absolutely hooked, because there are times I don't agree with Rich on what he talks about, but the homework that he does to explain his argument or his side of thinking is second to none. And there are very few people who are putting on a platform that is actually that strong. And for anybody who hasn't subscribed to it or bitches him out because he tells the truth or whatever, they're wrong. They're 100% wrong. And the sad part about it is even further, and it's not just Rich. There are literally dozens of people out there, and we've had a number of them on the show over the years, that bring more to the table than 90% of these guests that are requested by Coast to Coast or other big shows out there, or all of these UFO cons or Paracons or wherever. And there's so much good talent out there that it's amazing that they're not being asked to be a part of it. Another good one, Rich, and I'm sure you'll agree with me on this, is William Pullen. This guy's a UFO historian, spends a week to 2 weeks a year at Roswell studying in the archives. He's an ex-scientist who hated working in the lab, so he ended up becoming a tennis instructor down in Texas, and that way it cleared his schedule a little bit more. Outside of his own conference that he puts on in San Antonio, he's not been asked to speak at one conference. Dr. Chris Cogswell.
Yeah.
Dr. Chris Cogswell, who has his doctorate in chemical engineering, huge UFO guy. One conference happened last year at the Los Angeles UFO Expo. How does that guy not get it? That guy has the potential to be the next Stanton Friedman. No conferences, right?
Right.
And there's this giant list of people who are doing this amazing work out there who have absolutely no chance of speaking at this because they're not in the girls' club. They're not in the boys' club. They don't have a book that went viral selling 18 copies. All right. It's sad. And, when you have an opinion like Rich has, or like I have at times, like I'm more opinionated when I'm doing things like this than I am when I'm doing the show. It's very difficult because it's that network. It's that progression that you got to kiss ass or you got to smooch your way to the top. right? There's one fake investigative journalist last year faked his way to a television show and faked his way to 9 different conferences to speak at.
Horrible.
Right? Why?
But there's
Because he has, I'll tell you why. This person has perfected his self-promotion, which is something Rich and I don't do a good job at, or other people don't do a good job at.
Well, I think that you guys naturally don't self-promote because you guys don't really have those egos, you know? You're not that over-the-top paranormal type of people that have to do fake showmanship to get viewers. You know, you guys are, that's what, like you were saying earlier about Rich, you know, when I first started listening to him when he was doing the paranormal code, I was like, who's this guy? You know, I kind of got hooked to him like you were saying, Dave, and I've been liking him ever since. But I'm more attracted to people like yourselves that are real and legit, and you're going to do some research and some vetting, you know, not just some guy with a cool green screen, you know, in his background talking shit, you know. And I'm surprised that more cool people in this field like the science, Chris Cogswell and the other person you mentioned aren't in more conferences. I think Richie G should be emceeing some of those UFO conferences. So I'm really hoping that, Dave, you start your own conference one day in Vegas, like you said you were going to do. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. I like this Puss in Boots comment. Who is the guy displaying the low-end pawn shop guitars?
Yeah. Little does he know.
Some people are pretty funny. But, you know, Dave, I have noticed in you know, I watched your show for a while.
Yeah, man.
I see that you're kind of protective over some of your guests. You know, you're kind of protective over. So, you know, I'll mention a few like Butch and R. Keith. Is that because of the long history? You know, some of these guys really bring the woo, Dave. You know what I'm saying? They really
R. Keith. And that's a great point. Okay, and I think this stems from the whole peanut butter rolls incident. You know, here's my thing about it. My job as a host is, you know, my style, I should say, as a host is to protect my guests, protect my audience, and protect the investment. Okay, look, I've never stepped in your shoes. You've never stepped in mine. I've never stepped in Richie's. He's never stepped in mine. There are stories that I have that Richie thinks are complete bullshit, or other people who think are complete bullshit, but I know they happened to me, right? I know they did. Just like I may not believe you. The simple answer is this: we believe everybody, okay? Because I've never stepped in your shoes. You've never stepped in mine. So who am I to say that your claims are invalid? Now, with somebody like R. Keith, who is major, like Woo 2.0, okay, I've known him personally, and I've had experiences with him that he should not have known. So he has a little bit more credibility with me, okay, rather than subject matter. Do I believe Keith all the time? No, I don't. Okay, but he believes he's gone through that. And you can tell, and Richie, I think, would agree with me, you can tell when somebody is fabricating a story and somebody is just going by what their experience is. Okay, like Streetlight Mike. Okay, everybody knows it's a fucking streetlight. Everybody knows. All right. He even knows. You could tell in his voice, but because he's got these 2-bit books that are on Amazon, he wants to try and sell them. So he makes up a bunch of crap that goes along with it. Whereas with Keith believes that this has actually happened to him. Other people who I know who know Keith have had some amazing experiences. Now with Butch is a little bit different, okay, because a lot of people tend to think at times that we don't vet our guests. All right. And with Butch, a number of years ago, there were people on there who literally were saying that Butch was not a cop, that he ripped off a bunch of people, that he's a shyster, he's this, he's that, all because he had it out with John Ventry at MUFON, and Ventry didn't like it, and a couple other MUFON people didn't like it, that Butch went his own way, and they tried to discredit him. I've seen, and I asked Butch, going back about 5 years ago, I asked Butch about it. I said, Butch, for the sake of my show, we have to have this conversation. All right? Were you a cop? He sends me a newspaper clipping of him and 2 other officers in uniform at a charity event. Okay? Boom. He's a cop. That doesn't get fake cops, unless you're in handcuffs or you're caught on camera stealing something. Fake cops, okay, don't get their picture taken at charity events.
Right. True. Rich, what do you think about guests that bring the woo?
Wow. I love them. I think they're great because a couple of reasons. Well, a lot of things that they are hearing and trying to show us that's proof, like EVPs, for instance, or ghost boxes, like Bill Hauser's, like we've been talking about the last week. You know, he'll ask it a question, it'll reply, but he doesn't hear it for some reason, and it was the perfect reply, but then he'll hear something else, and it makes no sense to what the answer should be. And he's seeing it one way, I'm seeing it one way, you would see it another way. That's what's the problem with woo. It goes many different ways. That's why I'm frustrated with it.
Let me interrupt you 1 second, please.
Sure.
Bill Hauser, Dave, he's doing a satire thing, isn't he? That's a satire skit, correct?
No,
that's real. Yes.
No, Bill, you know what's really weird? Okay, so this goes where the personal experience comes in. Up in my area, we have one radio station that comes in. One. And it's, I believe, at 91.9 on the FM dial. And so when you're doing a ghost box session up where I live, and you hear the tick, 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 and then all of a sudden you hear whatever the sound is, you know it's not there. You know it's not the radio stations that are coming through. And with Bill or Mike Morin from Haunted Crew of Canada, Merle, they actually take the antennas out of the SB7s or the ghost boxes that they're using. So that way there's less chance of picking up any foreign or further away radio signals. And when Bill was up here at the museum, he came up one weekend for a ghost tour. He had that box singing, man. It was singing with answers. And look, I'll be honest with you. I don't know how much I believe in the ghost box, but I know a couple of things. Number one, right in front of me, we had the ghost box at a crash site here, at an airplane crash site in 1965, where over 50 people died. Okay. We were given a name on that box, and we were able to confirm that person died on the flight, to the point where my wife's dad knew who she was.
Remarkable.
Okay. Mike Morin was in one of our haunted buildings doing a ghost box session. The tape is on YouTube, where the spirits in that house call his name 3 times, my name twice, and I wasn't there, and my other good friend Mark. It was weird. Okay. So with Bill Hauser during the show, we've had 2 strange things. I have my real last name, like for people who don't know, and I do this out of my own privacy. My middle name is Scott. So my real name is David William Scott, and then I have my last name. But my last name's about this long, and it's Ukrainian, and I just use my middle name because it's easier to pronounce, number one, because I have butchered my own last name before. And number 2, it gives me a little bit of privacy. But and in British Columbia, there's only about 25, 30 people in the entire province of about 5 million people who have my last name. And on that ghost box, the second time we did it on Spaced Out Radio, I actually heard my last name pronounced clear as day.
Wow.
That scared me. And the second time was we were trying to get a hold of Carl, my alien friend.
Uh-huh.
And Bill asked, Carl, do you have a message for us? And this could have been completely coincidental in timing, but the first 2 bars of the Close Encounters of the Third Kind song, you know, the do 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 do, it went do do, and then the signal was lost right when we were trying to get a hold of Carl. And like I said, that could be completely coincidental. Look, I'm not saying there isn't a lot of audio pareidolia. I watch what people put in my room, or they type out what they're hearing, and I'm like, how the hell did you hear that? Okay. It's true. I'm not sure if I buy it. All I'm saying is that there's been some strange things happen around it. Does it work for me? No, doesn't work for me.
Who's been your favorite guest of all time, Dave?
Nelson Dellis.
Who is he?
Gentlemen, I did the show on July 5th, 2018. He was the 4-time United States memory champion for just remembering things. Like, this guy can read a 500-page book in 20 minutes and tell you what's the third word on the 5th paragraph on page 261 is.
Crazy.
His memory is just perfect. Anyways, I wanted to do a story or a show on the ghosts of Mount Everest. And I was looking through YouTube one day trying to find someone to interview, and I came across him. And then when him and I talked, I learned that he's tried to climb Everest 3 times. Once they couldn't reach the top, and twice he almost died on the mountain. And he's not a big guy into the paranormal, but if you listen to his stories, they're incredible and extremely paranormal. Like I asked him, one of the most profound answers that he gave was, I asked him if he hears if he's haunted by the mountain. And he goes, David, something along the lines, it's weird you asked that, or something like that. He goes, because I can hear the mountain calling my name. Right. And just going through a lot of those weird stories about walking past green boots on the climb up, and what it's like to all of a sudden lose oxygen in your lungs and almost black out. And, you know, I mean, and the stupid part about it is he's going to go again. He was supposed to go this year. And when he goes, from what I know, there's never been a paranormal investigation at Mount Everest at base camp. And so the next time he goes, I believe he's going to try in 2021. We're actually going to send him some ghost hunting gear, like simple stuff that he could carry that's not going to be a lot of weight, like K2s and a maybe a SB7 ghost box and whatever else. We're actually going to send that to him, because I think that would actually be the first or one of the only paranormal investigations ever at Mount Everest Base Camp.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that is my favorite episode, because it has just everything. It has emotion. It has intelligence. It has paranormal. It has walking past dead bodies. You know, I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Rich, what was one of your favorite memories of your shows? One of your past shows. What was one of the best past shows you can remember?
I don't know. Me and Dave had a couple of good ones. I think Dave and I did one, and it was really good. And then Third Phase of Moon called in. It was about a year ago. That's one of my favorite shows, because everybody was so candid and open, and letting Third Phase of Moon back into the, circle of somewhat trust.
Dave, would you ever have Third Phase on your show?
I tried. Rich knows. I mean, they're different cats, man. They're different cats. And if you're only willing to give my audience half an hour or an hour out of the requested time, I'm not about that. because we are a long form format. And if I was a 4-hour show, getting somebody on for an hour is okay. Then you could fill the other 2.5 hours with someone else. But for my time slot, you can't answer, like there's one television guy, good guy. I've met him, Ben Hansen.
Oh yeah.
Factor Fake. He's like, Dave, I'll come on your show, but realistically, I don't do interviews over half an hour. Wow. Well, we're not going to get anything in half an hour. Right. We're not going to get any information, but you gotta realize a lot of those TV guys and women they're handicapped with what they're allowed to do, because under their contract with the television companies, whether it's History Channel or Sci-Fi or whatever, they are told what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. They're told what they can talk about, what they can't talk about. And if they stray off that, it may ruin their contract. And this is how a lot of the people are making their living. It doesn't matter whether you're somebody like Zach Bagans, who's making $1 million a year off of this, or you're somebody who's just starting out making $300 an episode. You're still under contract, and you put your name on that. You have to follow by the rules. And that's where a lot of these people get caught up. Like I've had, who's that really good looking one? Jael, remember her?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay. She told me a couple years ago, she's like, I would love to come on, but I can only do a maximum of 35, 40 minutes. And I'm like, as much as I would love to have you on, not going to do it. Wow. Right. But here's the other thing though, as we start to move more towards a YouTube side of things, now that 25-minute interview works. Mm-hmm. Like in watching what Rich does a lot of times, and I've learned so much off of just watching him with everything. We've talked about it numerous times. As much as it's great to have that 2-hour or 3-hour show, you still need those 5 to 10 minute quick hits that are going to keep people's attention span for about that long. And that's where you get your hits from, right? So it's a whole balancing act where maybe now we go to Ben Hansen or we go to Jael or whoever is on television, and we're like, okay, if you could only do 30 minutes, would you do a quick video hit with me on YouTube? Right. And we'll ask you 5 important questions or 10 important questions, a top 10. And we go
for me. I could do that.
Yeah.
That would work for Rich.
Absolutely.
I did. Goes on your show. Go ahead, Rich.
I wanted to ask Dave and maybe Gutter, this Gutter. It's still weird saying it. Maybe I never heard you answer this question. I'm changing the topic here.
Is it about my weight again? About my weight again?
No. As a matter of fact, I retracted the original question I had to ask you. This one, which is more in what we're doing tonight. The Dyatlov Pass. Yeah. You're familiar with it, right?
Yes.
What do you think actually happened to those 9 people?
I have no idea. Rich, I got to get you
what?
The lady who runs this website for Dyatlov.
Yeah.
She is amazing. She lives in Europe somewhere, but she is absolutely amazing. You got to get her on.
So what do you think about it?
Hold on. I got to go this way so I stay in the middle of the camera.
Look at my fingerprints. See, I don't understand where these come from.
Hold on. I don't see any fingerprints there.
Space Force hat, Rich.
What's that?
A new Space Force hat now? You can't wash it? Is that what's happening?
I think it's just the vinyl. Okay.
What do I think happened? I think there's
hold on, hold that thought. The reason I'm asking, because I saw a show the other night and they said it might have been a secret, like a toxic gas the Russians were testing, and it just blew through. But I don't know if I buy that, that they went, started seeing things. And
because somebody rips their tongue out over gas.
Well, they, you know,
Because
they were saying they ripped their own tongue out or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
because somebody falls from a tree because of gas.
Yeah, I know.
I love
Right.
that story, Rich. I really hope you do a show on that. That's a great one.
Yeah. What is the lady's name? Hold on here.
So you don't. What do you think it is, Dave?
Aliens. I thought it was Yeti at the beginning,
No footprints.
which is why it's aliens, because it's always aliens, man.
So weird though that some of them took off all their clothes, and that's usually what happens when you go through hypothermia. You
Yes.
start getting hot at the end. I don't know. Someone's foot was chopped off. Was that it? Broken or something? I don't know. Somebody had a.
Nathan in the chat was asking what the story is, and that's a story about Russian hikers who went up a mountain and were found pretty much destroyed, and they still can't figure out why.
Yeah. I'm posting the website here, Rich, in the YouTube, if it'll let me. And you gotta get this lady on. It's just dietlovpass.com. And this is the entire encyclopedia of every piece of research that has been done on Dietlov Pass.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, dude.
I think that's one of the wildest mysteries.
Yeah. What is her name again? Oh,
there was pictures too. Yeah, the campers, Nathan.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the pictures of the bright lights that they don't know what they were, but it is weird that they got them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's amazing. Absolutely.
All right, cool.
Amazing. And
you mean to like interview her?
Yeah, man. She's fantastic.
Did you interview her?
Oh, yeah. She goes into huge detail.
Oh, I might have heard that show that you did with her then.
Yeah, she does amazing.
Yeah.
Just amazing work.
Oh, by the way, last night's show was phenomenal with John Edmund.
Oh,
Edward,
man.
what's his name? Edmonds,
and I called him Edwards, and he corrected me right off the bat.
I know. That's
That was good.
That's all right.
I like that.
I'm into hyper sleep right now, Rich.
Yeah, that was a fun show. Yeah. What do you think about that story, Dave, at the Stardust Ranch, since I'm going there Wednesday night?
Wow, cool.
I think he has some weird shit going on there, and I want to go play there.
I am going to play by myself Wednesday night.
You're going to videotape it, I hope, Rich?
It's live. It's a show, babe.
Oh, cool.
Everybody's invited.
The only thing that doesn't make sense to me is I asked him last night if his neighbors have the same stuff going on, and he said yes, but none of the neighbors have ever come forward to confirm it.
Well, maybe I'll knock on a few doors.
That's what little Richie G. See, that's a little Richie G move right there.
Yeah, it is.
It's
I'm
a total
definitely
G
doing it.
move.
I am doing it. Chat? Are you going to be able to do a chat while you're doing that live? Is that from your phone?
Yeah, man. It goes live right off the mobile phone. I can see the chat room and everything.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue into what I want to talk to you guys both about next is chat rooms. I think you guys both have great chat rooms.
Yeah.
You know, the people that go there, they're really smart. They're super funny. Some of the people that show up to mine are because of you guys. And but I just want to get both your guys' feelings on chat rooms. Do you guys appreciate them, or do you find them hard to manage? I'll start with Richie G first. Go ahead, Rich.
I'll start with Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
You want to go with Dave?
I do it. Well, there. You know what? I'm getting better at it. I do a different show because I don't have a guest on. When the guest speaks, I don't have the ability to check the chat rooms and reply to people or say, okay, I'll be right there as soon as he's done talking or whatever. So for me, because the guests on my show are the videos and me and the people in chat, I don't really talk to the chat as much as I would like to, but it's hard. I lose train of thought if I start looking at the conversations happening in chat, and then I see somebody arguing. Now I'm more interested what's going on in the chat room than what I'm doing.
Right.
So you can get thrown off, but I love the chat room that I have. I've got a couple of excellent moderators that make sure people don't get out of hand. You can do just about anything in my chat room except for verbally abuse the host. You just can't do that.
Do you find it hard to manage, or do you enjoy
Yes.
what the public engaging in your show?
You know what? I actually have this fear of missing something in the chat room. And
See, and I don't care. That's why.
That goes back to my Blog Talk Radio days, where Blog Talk Radio used to get hammered by trolls and hackers. And it's funny because when you reported it to Blog Talk Radio management, they'd always call you back and they'd be like, "Oh, well, we've never had this happen before." I just reported it last week, you fucktard, right? And things like that, honestly. And it would, you know what? I've always tried, as the term I've used, and some people think it's funny. Some people think I'm an asshole for doing it, but I've always tried to maintain that my chat rooms, as long as I am paying for them or doing the work to set them up, my chat rooms are not a democracy. All right. They are Dave-unism. And what I mean by that, and it sounds extremely arrogant, but you know what? I want people who are going to come in and be respective of the opinion of other people. Gassing someone because they believe that John Edmonds really sliced up aliens, or R. Keith Andrews really ate aliens, or whatever it may be, gassing someone for that, or cursing out a guest for no reason, I think it's arrogant. Okay. You don't have to agree with the other people in the chat. You don't have to agree with the guest. But in my chat rooms, I try and bring a modicum of respect, so that way everybody feels comfortable in there. And, you know, I've lost a lot of chatters too. I have 3 different hosts that have stole most of my chatters to their own show. These people were nothing until they joined Spaced Out Radio, and then for whatever reasons we had to part ways, and there were audience members that left with them. That hurts because you did all the work. You're the one who promoted them. You're the one who helped them become a name, and then they have no problem going in there and stealing your listeners when you part ways. And it's kind of bullshit, but it happens. You can't control who people listen to. But when in my chat rooms, doesn't matter whether it's on YouTube or whether it's on Twitter, you have to learn your crowd too. So for instance, when we use hashtag Spaced Out Radio on Twitter, that's more of a snarky type crowd. They want to have some fun, post some memes. They don't believe anything, but they are hilarious once you get it. The YouTube crowd, we allow a little bit more because YouTube is about freedom of speech. But if you go on and attack a guest, like we talked about with Butch Witkowski earlier, or R. Keith Andrews, or whomever, you know what? You don't have to agree with them, but that person has taken the time to, out of their day, to give you their message. If you don't get it, or you don't like it, or you don't believe in it, that's on you. It's not on the guest. And what I try and do is, you know what? You don't have to agree with them, but you don't have to shit all over them either. Or like in our chat rooms, I don't allow a lot of political talk because, look, the woo is not Republican. The woo is not Democratic. The woo is not, up here in Canada, liberal or conservative or new Democratic. The woo is the woo. And we're all coming together for the woo. I don't give a care if you're a Trump supporter or you're a Trudeau supporter, okay, or a Biden supporter or whomever. It doesn't matter to me, okay? What I care about is that everybody who is there for the common reason that we're tired of the bullshit of everything that we are inundated with every day, whether it's COVID, whether it's impeachments, whether it's taking your guns away or whatever, and we're all allowed that 3 hours a night to escape our minds and not put up with any bullshit. That's my dog, sorry.
No problem.
So
you hear your dog?
Pardon me?
You need to manage the dog for a minute?
No, they'll take care of it
I can
upstairs.
barely hear it. Yeah.
Now, well, thank you for sharing that, you guys. But let me go to the other end of the spectrum with the chat. It's the super chat. You guys have both experienced super chat. Now, tell me both your guys' feelings on receiving a super chat. Go ahead, Rich. Tell me your feeling on when you see a super chat hit in your chat room.
I'll have to tell you, I feel a lot of different things. I feel humbled. I definitely feel that. I feel that I owe, like, if somebody's going to pay me just $2 for being on a free service and they're supporting me in the show, I feel that some sort of responsibility has to get a little bit better, a little sharper, a little better form of the show. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's I get uncomfortable talking about money because I've stayed away from it all these years until this year. So for me, I still feel uncomfortable with it.
But doesn't it give you a sort of validation, Rich, of what you're doing? Doesn't it sort of reinforce what you're talking about when you do receive one?
What do you mean?
When somebody supports you with a super chat, it's what you're talking about. They enjoy, I would think, right?
I guess, yeah. And some people who have I've had one guy give me almost $1,000 already, and I said, "Hey, man, you don't have to keep doing that. I appreciate it." He goes, "So I don't need it. Might as well give it to you." Some people have extra money to throw around. It is some sort of validation that they are approving of it. I've been accused of having people that I've teamed up with them to give me the super chat money, and then I'll pay them back the money. I'm like, that's ridiculous because YouTube takes 30%. So why would we want to throw money away like that just to prove that I'm getting super chats? No. I guess for the amount of people I have as subs, I'm getting a lot of super chats. So it is some sort of validation, but it's just a weird feeling. But again, I'm like, well, you know what? I have put in my time. I've put in many years, 16 and a half, 17 years almost.
Mhm.
And I'm not trying to rip anybody off. I think I'm doing a really good service for ufology. I'm trying to calm down a little bit, here and there, to try to be a little more serious. But then people want more jokes and the comedy that I bring with it. So I don't know what to say except it's humbling, it's confusing, but it's inspiring as well. So I appreciate every single person, whether they donate $2 or 200 or 1,000. It feels the same. So I thank everybody for that.
Cool. How about you, Dave?
I got to agree with Rich. I'm very uncomfortable with it. I don't know how to react. A couple weeks ago, I had a gentleman just out of the blue drop $100 bill in there, and then it just kind of stopped me because it literally, like, are you kidding me right now? And you don't know how to react. And then and this was after the show, and then like 15 minutes later, he went and did it again, and I was so stunned. I actually had to leave my computer for a little bit for a few minutes, and I actually snuck outside for a cigarette because I was just shaking because, you don't feel like you deserve it. Rich and I have talked about this, about the uncomfortableness of the super chat, and I've had one person, only one so far, come up to me and say, "Hey, you said you weren't taking donations, that you didn't want donations, and be like all the other guys, yet here you are taking super chat. What kind of a hypocrite are you?" But it's, there is a one show host out there, and he goes on and he will literally say, "If I don't get $800 by the end of the week, I'm going to shut this thing down. If you want this thing shut down, just don't bring any money. You guys got to keep the station going. I'm not wasting all this time." Literally guilts the people into donating money, and the stupid people do. They do.
Wasn't that Hulk?
Well, Hulk was doing it for what?
Yeah, he
Let
did
me
it
tell
too.
you something, brother. But
I'm not gonna. Can't do a chair. Can't do a
but,
show without a chair.
Initials MV, and you know, I don't like that kind of stuff. Look, I opened up the super chat because, look, guys, you know, this is a real personal subject. I have put thousands upon thousands of dollars into Spaced Out Radio. I have an investor that has put tens of thousands of dollars into Spaced Out Radio. And when you have, you know, where all you're doing is sinking money, sinking money, sinking money, and then all of a sudden somebody reaches out to you and says, you know what? You're not too bad. Here's $2.
Yeah.
Here's $5. You don't know if, and where the guilt I think comes from on this end is there are people out there who will literally feel, I could use that $5 to go buy a bag of apples because I'm hungry, but I better give it to Dave or I better give it to Rich. And Rich does way more on the super chat than I do, but it's still scary for me because, look, I'm not a rich guy. I'm still trying to build a business. I have a very frustrated investor who we're still best friends. We've separated business from friendship, but he is not happy with the way this investment has panned out, and I don't blame him. I don't have the money to pay him back. Right?
Well, like we were talking about earlier, we can't, you know, the virus came around and kind of sidetracked everybody's life for sure.
Well, this goes beyond the virus, though. I had somebody involved in my team at one point that really took advantage of us. Really took advantage of us. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because that's on a business level with things. And, you know, it hurts because my friend entrusted me. And, you know, the other thing that, and Rich isn't a rich man either. You know, the other thing that people don't understand on the listener side is you guys see the program. You don't see those times where and this is where I get a little bit personal, and I don't know how to explain it properly, but you don't see the times when you know, like a couple of years ago when I had my nervous breakdown after the big forest fires here, I was still on the air every night, but nobody saw the fact that it cost me my job that paid my bills. And nobody saw those times when we were building everything up and I had no money coming in, and I'm debating, okay, do I put this $20 in my gas tank or do I go buy food for my kids' lunch? You know, nobody saw the fact that there were times where you're debating, okay, what in my house can I pawn off in order to make sure that I can pay the internet bill this month? Okay, that's just how bad it got, because my investor was, after we got ripped off, was refusing to put another dime in to keep this going until I figured out the plan. I'm not a business guy. I'm just a guy who knows how to speak in front of a microphone. And you have to, and I lucked out with a couple of people, right? I lucked out with a couple of very good people. And so how this all ties into the super chat is you work so hard for that validation. And when a listener reaches into their PayPal account or their wallet or their credit card to give you $1, $2, $5 or more, Rich, I'm sure you'll agree with me when I say this, you don't feel you deserve it because the job isn't done yet. Or, you know, you may think you're having a terrible show, but the audience thinks it's awesome, and it hurts. And you don't know, it's very uncomfortable feeling. And I really don't know how I feel about it. I don't want it, but I can tell you this, it sure helps.
I think you guys deserve it. And Mr. MVB333 calls it his tip jar. And he always says the tip jar is open before his show.
That's funny, actually.
Yeah. So you guys deserve all that help you can get. I really think that you guys should get crowdsourced way more. I think that would be more beneficial for you guys in the future going ahead. You know, with your live stream shows, you know, growing and growing, I think you're going to see a lot more crowdsourcing in the future, Dave. So, and Richie's already been experiencing that. So I would hope that you guys take this money you guys get from the super chats and the crowds and just keep reinvesting in your shows, because they're going to keep getting bigger. They're really good shows, both of you guys.
Somebody told me, I don't remember who, but he said, I think it was Lee, to be honest. He goes, you know what? If I go out on the weekend, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
I just see my computer blacked out. I don't know if it showed up over there. They said it cost me $100 to go out for the night. If I'm staying home this weekend, I'm going to give you $20 or $30 or $40 because you're entertaining me.
Absolutely. Yeah, and everybody's locked inside. Everybody should be saving money. I hope. I'm saving a ton of money, not going anywhere. So I would think that people would have some disposable check money for you guys, because, like I said, you guys do deserve it. You guys do put on an excellent show.
I'm buying razors with mine.
Razors.
Are you cutting it?
I may. I'm not a fan of
Oh,
it.
right. You're gonna shave the beard?
The beard may come off. You know, I may just go with like a mustache and a little
Soul patch
there for a while.
One of those like that.
Yeah.
You know.
One of the. Oh, you mean this thing?
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, let me ask you something off the cuff here. What does Freebird mean to you? You said on the show the other night you finally figured it out. What does Freebird mean?
Just means to, like, for the meaning I got out of it, and believe it or not, I listened to it again today.
Wow.
I think I'm on 10 days in a row of listening to Freebird. And I think it's just about letting go, and at least my version of it is about just letting go, and what will be will be. You can't change yesterday, and tomorrow is not guaranteed. So why take today so seriously when you can just fly away and do what's good for you, man?
Awesome. You know, I've never heard one Bieber song in my life.
Me either. Hold on. I got a visitor coming.
Hey, who that?
Hey, who's this? You know him. Hey, come here, please.
Where you going?
Where are you going? They want to know where you're going. Come here. Come here, please.
That's your son? What's his name?
Colby.
Hi, Colby. My name's Gutter.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, no, he's back. Come here, please.
You heard
Come
my
here,
name?
because they're talking to you. Come here. You got to wear Daddy's headphones because they're talking to you. Come here, please. Here. Are you being shy right now? Just come here.
Colby, how are you?
Listen.
buddy?
Okay, he's got the headphones on.
Hi, Colby. How are you?
How you doing, brother?
Oh, he's all sheepish right now. He's like, oh, they're talking to me. Oh, what do I do? What do I do?
I hope your son's not a Bieber fan. That's all.
No, hey, Colby,
No, he's a.
they're asking what your favorite song is.
Metallica one.
Well, which one is it right now?
You know.
Well, I'm
Sanitarium.
no, he's not into Sanitarium yet.
Master of Puppets.
Is it Master of Puppets?
No.
Which one is it?
Patience.
I don't remember the name.
Well, let's see. His lineup in the last 6 months has included "Wash It All Away" by Five Finger Death Punch, "Lift Me
God.
Up" by Five Finger Death Punch, Pantera's "Walk," and
Oh yeah.
"For Whom the Bell Tolls" by Metallica, "Paradise City." I introduced him recently to Motorhead. That wasn't he wasn't a big fan of that. He likes a little bit of Iron Maiden. Who else do you like in these days?
Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath.
Wow,
Iron
Black
Man.
Who?
Paranoid.
Iron Man.
Iron Man, brother.
Iron Man's greatest.
Yeah.
How old is Colby?
6.
Oh, boy.
46.
Yeah. He's got He's got a beautiful Jackson guitar that's that Santa Claus brought him at Christmas, and he just
Cool.
hammers on it. It's really cool. There he is.
There he is, brother. I see you behind that chair, brother.
Colby, are you taking formal lessons, or are you just playing with your dad?
He's wondering. No, he's not in lessons yet. He will be once everything kind of gets settled down. Okay, out, bud.
Does Colby have a favorite hockey team?
Who's your favorite hockey player? He likes Connor McDavid. You want to listen?
Ah, so do I. He's good.
There you go.
Colby,
Only
what's
a
up?
couple more minutes.
What team
How
is
are
Connor McDavid on again?
What hockey team do you like, Colby? I don't know if you're old enough to be in the bar right now, Colby, to be honest with you, but I'll let it slide this time. Is he still there? Is he being bashful?
I'm still here. I just can't hear you guys right now because he's got the headphones on.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Say hi
So
to
what
Richie
team-
He's
G.
got the headphones.
What-
Hi, Colby.
What team
Okay.
is Connor McDavid
You gotta
on?
go up. Okay. Thanks, buddy. All right. Sorry about that, guys.
He took off.
Yeah, he's leaving right now.
No,
Yeah, he's a little metalhead. It's awesome. It's awesome because I don't have to worry about country music. Don't have to worry about Bieber or hip hop. He just likes his metal.
are you guys hunters?
I'm not. I've
Okay.
never owned a gun. Never had to. I have a fear of guns because my sister, when she was 19 years old, was involved in a gun violence incident, and
Oh, no.
she ended up losing her ring finger on her right hand.
What'd she do wrong? No, I'm just kidding.
It's
not
a
funny.
long, weird
she-
story, and anyway,
Tried to
she
make
survived. Her friend did not, and
Wow.
and it's real scary. And so I've never really grown up with guns, but it's funny since I've moved north. Like when I lived near Vancouver, there's no need for a gun. We weren't a hunting family. We'd go fishing and all that kind of stuff. But now that I've moved north and I'm spending a lot more time out in the wilderness, looking for Bigfoot or whatever, there's a lot of animals here that could kill you. Grizzly bears, black bears, moose, wild horses, cougars, bobcats, lynx. There's a lot of things that could kill you up here in the wild. And I just think that I got to get over this fear that I have of guns too, because I was brought up, even though I was brought up in a conservative family, we had a real liberal attitude towards guns. Like, what do you need that gun for? There's no need for that. But now that I've moved up here over the last couple of years, especially, my entire attitude has changed with that. And I want to get my gun license, so that way, in case we are camping and all of a sudden a grizzly bear walks through and starts, charging my son or my daughter or something, I want to be able to protect them, and so I'm hoping to get that here soon. And plus I don't want my son to grow up with the fear of guns that I have, because in the end, okay, I've gone from making it feel like a gun is a weapon when a gun is really a tool, and that is a hard reality for me, and it's been a hard learning experience that I've really delved into, and I am I've really changed on that. Yes.
Rich, you grew up in a police family. Have you owned weapons yourself? Or what kind of weapon?
I only heard you say it. Have I ever owned guns?
Right.
Sure.
Do you-
do now.
You do?
Yes. Of course I do. I just I'm not a hunter though. I'm like Tyler Glockner. I couldn't hurt a fly. I just hunting has never been something for me. UFO hunting, yeah.
Yeah, UFO hunting's cool. I've never been a hunter myself.
I always
You know,
brought
I
my
was in-
piece with me. Guys, I'm always in the desert by myself. You never know. There could be a mountain lion or something up there. Snakes.
I was in the Marine Corps. I learned how to fire up to expert, but I've never had a desire to own a weapon since. I don't know why. I'm just not into it.
No,
I don't know how do we start talking about weapons?
Well, you
I
asked
know.
if I was a hunter.
Oh, that's right. Are you a hunter? But you said you grew up in the mountains, Dave, didn't you? As a little kid,
No,
you were.
I grew up in a suburb of Vancouver called Abbotsford, British Columbia. It was a farming community, and it was a farming and subdivision community, and there was like 15,000 people there, which is funny because now the city is like 135,000 people, and it was weird because like my dad was pretty popular in town because my dad was one of the coaches in minor hockey, and he coached up to junior hockey. My dad helped start the slow pitch league in town after seeing slow pitch in Bellingham, Washington for the first time. With him and his buddies are like, hey, let's start this league. And that league's been going on for almost 45 years now. And it's just, we used to be able to go to the mall and it would be like, you're just going to the mall to pick up some groceries or a new pair of shoes, and that 10 minutes turns into 3 hours because you're talking to so many people that Now you go to that same mall and you don't recognize anybody. Nothing. It's weird that way, but no, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry, just got some buddies rolling in. So, I think I'm gonna wrap it up because I've been on for. I was only gonna try to do an hour, but I've been on for quite a while now. And I just want to say thank you and tell Dave Scott and Richie Goofon, thanks for showing up. I really like your shows. Early happy birthday to Dave Scott. I know it's coming up. That's cool. I just really respect you guys. I really appreciate you guys, what you guys do for me. You're helping me out. And I love your guys' chat rooms and all the people there. They're super cool. And when can we see both you guys next? Rich?
No, whenever you want, man. Let me know.
When's your next show?
It'll be Monday night, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, right here on the YouTubes.
How about you, Dave? Who are you going to have on Monday?
Monday we have who do we have? Linda Leach, Nightcap History. Yeah. Her dad was one of the founders of Nightcap.
Yeah, this is
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that'll be cool.
I'm glad you guys came on tonight, okay? Thank you for hanging out.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys soon, all right?
All right, Chief.
Yay! Good show. Good show.
Way to go, Gutter.
Yeah,
Okay,
all right.
I'll see you guys later. Thank you.
All right. Peace.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.